Close your eyes for a moment and listen to the silence of the night. Do you hear it? The faint, deep hum of something far larger than the Earth, a cosmic vibration whispering through the dark matter that binds reality together. For millennia, humanity has instinctively looked up, not to find reassuring gods, but to feel the shadow of the unknown fall upon them. What if the vast, cold void isn't empty, but merely sleeping? Our fear is not of the dark, but of the immense, intelligent silence that defines the celestial sphere, patiently observing us. What if the stars are not distant, benign fires, but the watchful eyes of ancient, predatory intelligences too slow for our fleeting lives to comprehend? These are not mere scientific anomalies, they are the 100 chilling secrets hidden in the celestial tapestry, whispered through centuries of myth and forgotten lore. The stories you're about to hear are the suppressed histories of astronomy, the terrifying footnotes hidden in the margin of your high school textbook. Every myth, every inexplicable light, points to a singular, unifying truth that terrifies us all. Tonight, we peel back the atmosphere, not to discover light, but to unearth the deepest truth of the void. You're about to fall into the oldest darkness humanity ever faced, the dread of the sky itself. We will explore the celestial entities, the gravitational conspiracies, the atmospheric betrayals, and the final, horrifying fact that connects them all. The truth is not just out there, it is here, pressing down on your world with a crushing weight of infinite indifferent space. Prepare yourself for the descent. The silence of space as a weapon. The first terror is simply this. The universe is deafeningly silent, yet its silence carries an implied scream. You're taught that space is a vacuum, unable to transmit sound, and this scientific truth is meant to be comforting. But ancient cultures understood that the absence of sound is not peace. It is the ultimate paralyzing threat. Imagine a catastrophe, a star collapsing, or an asteroid hurtling toward your world. You would never hear the impact until the thermal shockwave tore your reality apart. An eternity of destruction played out in absolute quietude. The universe denies you the dignity of a warning. The terror deepens when we consider the low, vast radio emissions detected from seemingly empty voids. The space hum that persists even after filtering out known astrophysical sources. What if this is not residual energy, but the collective, subsonic drone of non-human thought, broadcast across light years in a frequency we can only sense as anxiety? It is the sound of an immense, slow motion, engine winding up, an incomprehensible mechanism that has been turning since before your species walked. The silence is merely a trick of the human ear, a curtain drawn over a concert of cosmic malice. This is the true definition of cosmic dread, the crushing knowledge that when the thing arrives, be it a black hole's gravitational tide or a truly alien intelligence, it will do so without the courtesy of a thunderclap. Your end will be met with the smooth, indifferent, crushing pressure of a silent force, and your last moment will be defined by an echoing internal scream that no one will ever hear. The sky is the canvas of our greatest fears because it is the master of silent, inevitable violence. The ultimate conspiracy is that all life is born within earshot of doom. The hypothetical gravitational puppeteer. The astronomical search for Planet 9, a hypothetical massive celestial body lurking far beyond Neptune, is framed by science as a search for gravitational stability. Yet the persistent patterns of distant objects, all tilting their orbits in unnerving synchronicity, suggest a hidden hand, a vast cosmic puppetry that governs the outer dark. This is not a planet, it is a gravitational master switch, an invisible, colossal weight that subtly shifts the equilibrium of our solar system every few thousand years, awaiting its predestined cycle of influence. Ancient fears often speak of a celestial hammer, or wandering star that brings about the end of an age, a myth dismissed as pre-scientific nonsense. But what if these myths were the inherited, fractured memories of a time when the gravitational shift caused by this hidden body was a global, cataclysmic event? A tilt of the solar system's plane could ignite massive, unpredictable comet bombardments from the Kuiper Belt, a torrent of icy, mile-wide harbingers aimed directly at Earth. The hidden world doesn't need to collide with us to destroy us. This vast, unknown, recurring motif in our own cosmic backyard serves as a silent, existential threat. The proof that we are not masters of our orbit, but merely tenants on a planet whose fate is determined by the unseen. If a world we have never truly observed can dictate our future with the subtle tightening of a gravitational thread, then the sky is not just a ceiling, but a clock ticking toward an inevitable slow-burn disaster. The search for Planet 9 is not merely astronomy, it is the archaeological excavation of an impending doom. The redaction of the constellations, ancient Sumerian, Babylonian and Egyptian star charts are filled with celestial figures that modern astronomy cannot account for. These are not merely artistic interpretations, these are complex mapped figures, such as the throne of the serpent or the celestial alchemist, that appear to have been intentionally edited out or overwritten during later astronomical standardization. The chilling idea is that the sky was actively redacted by ancient cartographers, hiding the true, horrifying geometry of the cosmos. Why would these early astronomers, who viewed the sky with sacred reverence, deliberately wipe features from the permanent record? One terrifying possibility is that certain constellations were not decorative myths but were meant to serve as territorial markers, the eerie symbols of non-human ownership of certain sections of the cosmos. When human civilizations began to flourish, the keepers of the celestial knowledge chose to hide these markers, believing that if humanity forgot the boundaries, the shadowy force that owned them would remain asleep, postponing an inevitable reckoning. This suggests a deliberate, organized effort to simplify the sky, to reduce it to digestible figures of bears and hunters, rather than the true, terrifying geometries of cosmic intelligence. The creepiest fact is that the comforting zodiac you know today is a censored version of the truth, a child's picture book designed to keep you from pointing your telescope toward the celestial regions marked "Here be dragons." The vast empty quadrants are where something immense once held sway, and the old charts held the evidence of its presence. The vengeful red sprite lightning. Above the familiar comforting shield of the thundercloud, there exists an atmospheric terror known as the red sprite. These are colossal, momentary electrical discharges that shoot upward toward the void, often reaching the edge of space itself. They are silent, crimson, and fleeting, a towering skeletal form of light that spans dozens of miles in the blink of an eye. For pre-scientific man, witnessing a silent, massive red pillar suddenly erupting from the sky would have been a sign of instantaneous divine wrath. The terror stems from the feeling of being actively targeted. Unlike lightning, which grounds itself, the red sprite seeks only the high places, connecting the storm to the stratosphere. Ancient myths of the sky opening up to deliver judgment, of celestial beings sending down beams of pure fire, were likely born from witnessing these immense ethereal pillars. They are a visible, momentary fracture in the ceiling of our world, a brief, silent connection between the terrestrial violence and the unknown above that seeks to exploit it. The creepiest truth about the red sprite is its sheer, overwhelming scale. They are larger than most metropolitan areas, yet they exist in a plane we rarely observe. They are the visible proof that our atmosphere is more than just air. It is a chaotic, electrically charged membrane, constantly being assaulted by the cosmos. When you sleep, know that above your head, vast, silent, vengeful pillars of crimson electricity are connecting the violent storm cells on Earth to the indifferent darkness of space. A brief vertical bridge for supernatural influences to cross. Oumuamua, the cosmic harbinger. Oumuamua, the first interstellar object ever observed passing through our solar system, was terrifying, not because of its speed, but because of its behaviour. It accelerated, defying the laws of gravity and known physics, without showing any visible sign of a comet's tail or any exhaust. Its geometric shape, unlike any natural object, was so strange that even astronomers publicly speculated that it might be a derelict piece of alien technology, a shard of interstellar debris coasting on supernatural influences. Ancient myths speak of god stones or cosmic vessels that arrive in times of great change, bringing technological knowledge or catastrophic plagues. Oumuamua fits the profile of a harbinger, a fast-moving non-natural relic that simply appears, collects data, and departs without interaction. The true hidden horror is the implication that the cosmos is littered with these silent tactical probes, using non-thermal acceleration to skim past solar systems, collecting information on developing life, judging its worth. The non-repeatable nature of this fact is its cosmic loneliness. It passed through, offered no explanation for its physics, and continues on an unknown trajectory toward another star, carrying with it a complete, terrifying snapshot of our system. The creepiest fact is that it was not a warning shot like Tunguska, but a passive reconnaissance vehicle that has now filed its report. What intelligence built something that can traverse the gulf between galaxies, and what was the true purpose of its asymmetrical speed? The eerie sound of galactic cannibalism. The largest galaxies, including our own Milky Way, grow not by creating new stars but by cannibalism, silently consuming smaller dwarf galaxies through gravitational accretion. This is a perpetual, slow-motion war across millions of light-years, where entire systems are devoured without a single sound. The stars of the consumed galaxy are not destroyed, but merely rearranged into the shape of their new, massive and indifferent host. This process is happening right now, far above your head. The creepiest part is the subtle debris, streaks of stars known as stellar streams, that are the faint gravitational tear stains of these dying galaxies. They wrap around the Milky Way like ghostly chains, proof that our home is built upon countless acts of cosmic murder, a vast cemetery of systems that once held life and entire histories. We are living inside a predator, and its structure is defined by its consumption. This ancient, violent process is the ultimate betrayal of the peaceful star field. Our sky is a graveyard of light, and the silence is merely the polite, vast space between the acts of aggression. Every bright, beautiful star you see is either a victim or a witness, trapped forever within the belly of the cosmic beast. The horror is in the scale. The act of galactic murder takes billions of years, but is happening now. The Great Attractor's hidden mass beyond the furthest reach of our vision, the entire local group of galaxies, including the Milky Way, is being relentlessly pulled toward a single invisible point in space known only as the Great Attractor. Its gravitational influence is immense, yet the source of its mass is completely obscured by a vast wall of dust and gas, known as the Zone of Avoidance. We know something massive is pulling us to an unknown destiny, but we can never see our master. This presents a primal fear of being a slave to an unseen force. Our destiny is not random motion, but a slow, calculated tow toward a gravitational entity that may be a cluster of millions of galaxies, or something far stranger and monolithic. Perhaps a single, terrifying, ultra-massive structure of non-baryonic matter. The fact that the universe itself has hidden this entity from us suggests a deliberate cosmic obfuscation. Our eventual, inevitable arrival at the Great Attractor is our ultimate preordained destiny, a slow burn collision set to unfold over hundreds of millions of years. We are already on the slide, and every moment is simply one step closer to the enormous shrouded hand that is pulling us through space. We are passengers on a runaway train, and the driver is a terrifying silent shadow. The moon's titanium skeleton, Analysis of seismic data and samples suggests the moon's core is unusually dense and contains a disproportionate amount of metals like titanium and iron. This has led to the chilling concept of a hollow, manufactured moon, a theory that suggests its structure is not natural accretion, but a colossal, symmetrical shell designed by an unseen intelligence. Our closest celestial neighbour may not be a sister, but a silent, orbiting fortress. This theory finds its conspiracy in the moon's perfect orbit and its size, which precisely covers the sun during an eclipse, a phenomenon that is mathematically too unlikely to be a coincidence. If the moon is a vessel or a giant observational platform, then its perfect geometry is not for our wonder, but for its function. It is the ultimate shadowed eye, placed precisely to observe Earth without ever giving up its secret. The moon is proof that the sky has hidden architectural secrets right in our own backyard. Every night the largest structure within 1,000,000 miles is watching us, its dense metallic skeleton remaining silent to our probes. It is the ultimate haunted artifact, an enormous, perfect, celestial object that defies easy explanation and forces us to confront the fact that we may be living under an ancient artificial silent sentinel. The Van Allen belts as a prison. The Van Allen belts are two enormous donut-shaped rings of highly energetic particles trapped by Earth's magnetic field. While they protect us from solar radiation, their existence has a darker, conspiratorial implication. They are a cosmic quarantine, a shield that prevents us from leaving as much as it prevents the outside from entering. The Earth is encased in a natural, shimmering, energetic barrier. Ancient myths across multiple cultures speak of a celestial boundary or a firmament that must be breached to reach the gods. What if our own magnetic field is that firmament, a passive, protective, yet immensely strong force field that was intentionally established during Earth's formation by an intelligence seeking to cultivate or isolate a single biosphere? We are not free, we are contained within a vast shimmering fence. The very structure that keeps us alive also ensures our isolation. The belts are an effective prison against human exploration, subjecting spacecraft to damaging radiation precisely at the altitude where true escape begins. The horrifying realization is that the Earth is a self-contained biological experiment, and the unknown above has built the perfect barrier to maintain the purity and the privacy of its terrarium. The whispers in the cosmic background. The cosmic microwave background, CMB, is the oldest light in the universe, the pervasive echo of the Big Bang itself. It should be perfectly random, yet scientists have found persistent, subtle anomalies in its temperature and distribution. A specific pattern, a cold spot that defies known physics. This pattern suggests an organizing force acting on the universe at its very moment of creation. The creepiest interpretation of this anomaly is that the CMB is not just residual heat, but a canvas, a colossal, frozen record of non-human information imprinted onto the fabric of reality. The subtle whispers are not just static. They are the intentional signature of the ultimate architect, a recurring motif that reveals a grand design, but one so vast we can only perceive it as a flaw in randomness. To look at the CMB is to look through the eyes of the universe's consciousness. The slight chilling variations in temperature act as a hidden code, proof that the primordial forces were not chaotic, but meticulously guided. The ultimate terror is that the universe came with a manual, and we are too late and too small to decipher the instructions that govern our every law of existence. The sky burial and the soul's capture. The tradition of sky burial, where the deceased are offered to vultures on mountain peaks, is often framed as a pragmatic necessity. But beneath the practical surface lies a chilling spiritual dread. The belief is not merely that the body returns to the elements, but that the soul, disembodied from its flesh, makes a perilous, exposed ascent toward the celestial sphere, vulnerable to what lies in the upper air. The terror is rooted in the high-altitude atmosphere being home to predatory entities, the Daginis, who are said to patrol the mountain air. They are often depicted as carrying ritual implements, not to guide the soul, but to sever it from its terrestrial anchor. When bone fragments are crushed, it is an attempt to make the soul too ephemeral, too quick for the supernatural influences that patrol the troposphere. This universal fear is the knowledge that the highest point of our existence, the moment of release, is also the point of greatest vulnerability. The sky does not merely host our clouds, it hosts entities that prey upon the immaterial. The entire ritual becomes a desperate gamble against the very structure of the heavens, hoping the soul can evade the hungry watchers in the unknown above. Saturn's hexagonal storm and the cube god Saturn's North Pole is home to a permanent, perfect hexagonal storm, a geometric anomaly that has raged for decades and defies conventional meteorological explanation. This six-sided symmetrical vortex is the ultimate eerie symbol, a terrifying sign that complex ordered geometry can spontaneously emerge from chaotic natural forces. The sky is not just wind and weather, it is a canvas for pure non-human mathematics. This unnerving perfection has fueled theories that the hexagon is the visible footprint of a higher dimensional entity, a cold, indifferent machine god whose shadow is cast onto the gas giant's atmosphere. The symmetry is too exact, too enduring, suggesting that Saturn is not just a planet, but a natural resonance chamber for a form of consciousness that operates entirely through sacred geometry. If the atmosphere of a distant giant can sustain a perfect six-sided rotating prison, what other impossible shapes are waiting to be revealed in the void? The hexagon is the sign of the cube, the ultimate rigid form, suggesting that a geometric intelligence rules the solar system, imposing its perfect, terrifying, unyielding logic upon the volatile chaos of gas and storms. The dark flow anomaly. The dark flow is a controversial large-scale pattern of motion where vast clusters of galaxies, millions of light-years away, are all moving in a similar non-random direction, pulled by an unseen, extra-cosmic influence. This phenomenon is unexplained by any known gravitational map, suggesting the existence of structure and mass beyond the very edge of our observable universe. The horror is that our entire cosmic neighborhood is being dragged by a force that exists outside of our reality. The laws of physics, the known universe, and all our cosmological certainties are simply the limits of a localized pool, and something immense and powerful is fishing from the shore, reeling in everything we know with a slow, indifferent tug. The dark flow means we are not masters of our own position in space. We are being herded. The galaxies are not moving randomly. They are flowing toward a destiny dictated by the sheer, crushing mass of whatever lies in the eternal dark beyond the bubble of our perception. Our fate is fixed, and the entire unknown above is already on a leash. The terrifying voids of intergalactic space. Intergalactic space is dominated by vast, colossal stretches of nothingness, the cosmic voids. These are regions millions of light-years across, where virtually no galaxies, stars, or even dark matter are found. They are not merely empty, they are actively purged of matter, the ultimate, proof of the universe's ability to create and sustain absolute terrifying emptiness. The vast emptiness of the voids challenges the very nature of existence. If the universe is driven by gravity and accretion, how can such colossal areas remain so utterly clean? This suggests the influence of negative energy or a repulsive force, a cosmic antiseptic that has intentionally sterilized entire swathes of the cosmos for an unknowable alien purpose. These are the dark oceans of the universe, and we are merely living on the scattered archipelagos of matter. The creepiest fact is that the majority of the universe is actively working against existence, maintaining an eternal, cold and perfect vacuum far beyond anything we can replicate. The true cosmic force is not creation, but the silent, indifferent power of negation. The shifting axes of Hyperborea. Ancient myths across multiple cultures, from Greece to the far north, speak of a golden age called Hyperborea, where the Earth's axis was dramatically different, causing the celestial sphere to rotate in a predictable, calm manner. This is not just a tale of paradise, it is a chilling historical memory of a sudden, catastrophic shift that violently reorganized the entire night sky. The myths imply a cosmic cataclysm, an external force that struck the Earth and violently altered its rotational geometry. If the sky once aligned differently, it means our current constellations are not eternal, but merely a temporary post-disaster arrangement. We are living under a rearranged ceiling, and the ancient maps hold the secret to the original forgotten order. This suggests that the entire structure of the sky is vulnerable to instantaneous chaotic change. The stars you see tonight are a lie, a temporary arrangement that could be violently reset at any moment. The unknown above has proven its ability to destroy not just life, but the very framework of time and space as we perceive it, reducing cosmic order to historical mystery. The Sun's twin and the Nemesis star. The Oort cloud, the true edge of our solar system, is theorized to hold trillions of icy objects, but it may also hide our Sun's forgotten sibling, Nemesis, a hypothetical brown dwarf star. This chilling theory suggests that our Sun is not a solitary figure but part of a binary system, with its twin currently lurking far in the blackness. This dark companion could be massive enough to periodically disturb the Oort cloud, unleashing catastrophic torrents of comets toward the inner planets every 26 million years. It is a slow, cyclical killer, a shadow entity that ensures our recurring destruction. The concept of Nemesis provides a terrifying explanation for Earth's mass extinction events, aligning the periodic bombardment of comets with the orbital cycle of this invisible twin. It means that the violence is not random chance. It is the predictable, rhythmic malice of a sister star whose destiny is to ensure our world is occasionally swept clean. This is the ultimate betrayal in the family of stars, where our source of light and life is tethered to a dark, indifferent, destructive partner that silently governs our planet's greatest tragedies. To search for Nemesis is to seek out a destiny we cannot prevent, a dark star whose light we can never see, but whose gravitational shadow is cast across the entire sweep of our species' history. The true horror lies in the fact that its next destructive cycle is already scheduled, written into the very physics of our twin star system. The Sun is not alone, and that company is a terrifying, slow-moving death sentence delivered from the cold, deep reaches of the unknown above that we rarely bother to map. The Kronos paradox of stellar death. When we observe a distant supernova, we are watching an event that occurred millions of years ago, a time discrepancy that is meant to be a comfort. However, the Kronos paradox suggests that this temporal gap is an intentional manipulation. What if the distance is not merely space, but a vast cosmic archive, allowing non-human intelligences to deliberately synchronize and stagger the appearance of stellar deaths to influence developing civilizations? The terrifying revelation is the implication of cosmic stagecraft, that the appearance of a major star death, a new star in the heavens, is often timed precisely to coincide with key moments of human societal collapse or enlightenment. These are not random events. They are calculated visual signals, ancient punctuation marks delivered at the speed of light, ensuring that every era witnesses a specific cosmic catastrophe designed to fuel myth, religion, or scientific terror. This turns the sky into a gigantic celestial clock face, where the great tragedies and wonders are timed to an alien schedule. The explosions are real, but the timing of their appearance on Earth is dictated by an intelligence that perceives light years as mere milliseconds. We are not just observing the sky, we are being communicated with through events of unimaginable scale, and the message is always delivered at the moment of our greatest vulnerability, the galactic bulge's ancient population. The galactic bulge, the dense, chaotic core of the Milky Way, contains the oldest and most metal-poor stars in our galaxy, suggesting they were the first to form. The density of stars there is so immense that any intelligent life would be exposed to constant, terrifying radiation and gravitational instability. It is a cosmic ghetto, teeming with ancient, resilient life that has adapted to an environment of perpetual, violent catastrophe. The horror is that these ancient stellar populations have had billions of years longer than us to evolve, not into peaceful masters, but into hyper-resilient, desperate intelligences that thrive on chaos. Their view of space is not a vacuum of peace, but a constant, dangerous throng of light and gravity. If they look out, they must see our solar system, stable, cool and peaceful, as the ultimate vulnerable target, a lush, quiet garden ripe for conquest. The bulge is the ultimate hidden horror of our galaxy, a place where life is forced to be ruthless, powerful, and utterly alien in its psychology. When we listen for signals, we usually look to quiet, sun-like stars. The truth may be that the most ancient, powerful consciousnesses are those that have learned to scream their intentions through the background radiation of a billion hostile suns. They are the first wave, and they are still there, in the chaos. Jupiter's missing moons conspiracy. The 4 largest moons of Jupiter, Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, are known as the Galilean satellites. However, the chilling theory posits that Jupiter may have once possessed other, even larger, terrestrial-sized moons whose existence was catastrophically erased. These are the missing worlds, broken up or consumed by the gas giant's overwhelming gravity during the chaotic early solar system, leaving only the smaller moons as survivors. This implies a cosmic crime scene right in our backyard, a silent, gravitational act of infanticide on a planetary scale. The vast ring of smaller, irregular asteroids orbiting Jupiter are the scattered, frozen remains of these larger worlds, a belt of debris that quietly circles a perpetrator that is too large and too powerful to be judged. Jupiter's serene beauty is a mask over a history of immense, destructive planetary violence. The terror is the knowledge that even worlds as large as Earth can be simply consumed and scattered by the indifferent power of a gas giant, leaving no trace but a ribbon of dust. It forces us to confront the fact that our own survival is not guaranteed by strength, but by the current, temporary stability of the solar system. Every night, the largest planet in our system is a monument to planetary destruction, a constant reminder of the chaos we narrowly avoided. The zero-point energy cult. The concept of zero-point energy, the vast latent energy that exists in the vacuum of space itself, is often viewed as a technological dream. However, the older esoteric interpretation views this vacuum as a living, primal source of consciousness, an ethereal spirit that can be tapped only through ritual, not science. This suggests a history of cults attempting to harness the consciousness of the void. Ancient texts and secret societies speak of ritual sacrifice performed under the deepest, darkest sky, an attempt to align the human mind with the energy field of space itself. The goal was not power, but instantaneous, unmediated knowledge of the cosmos, often leading to madness. These historical acts were attempts to bypass the physical laws, to communicate directly with the terrifying, vast intelligence that underlies all matter and energy. This chilling historical mystery implies that the pursuit of cosmic truth is inherently dangerous, leading not to enlightenment, but to the total dissolution of the self into the vacuum's indifference. The very fabric of space is the ultimate occult power source, and those who sought to draw from it became terrifying conduits, their minds overwhelmed by the cold, overwhelming logic of the void. Our civilization may have been built on the broken minds of those who tried. The sky as the ultimate observer. The sky is not just a passive background. It is the ultimate non-judgmental observer, recording every flicker of light, every radio wave, and every gravitational ripple that escapes the Earth. The terrifying implication is that the atmosphere itself is a perfect, silent storage medium, a vast, layered memory bank preserving every action, every whispered word, and every secret committed under its cold gaze. This concept turns the sky into an omnipresent witness, a colossal, indifferent eye that never blinks and never forgets. The light pollution we create is not just blocking the stars, it is corrupting the archival record, a desperate modern attempt to blind the witness and destroy the memory of our own past acts. We fear the watchful gods, but the true terror is the non-conscious, perfect record keeper that surrounds us. The realization is that you can never truly escape what you have done. Long after your physical body is gone, your life remains etched into the ionosphere, a perfect ethereal ghost that can be read back by any sufficiently advanced observer. The sky is the ultimate form of technological paranoia, proving that every secret, every moment of fear, is a permanent entry in the cosmic ledger of the unknown above. The celestial city of Thule. Explorers and pilots operating in the high Arctic have recounted sightings of perfect shimmering cities suspended in the permanent dark of the upper atmosphere, a phenomenon often tied to the myth of Thule or other hidden polar civilizations. These reports are dismissed as optical illusions, but the recurring geometric precision suggests something far more complex. A permanent, high-altitude structure that only becomes visible under specific atmospheric conditions. What if this is not a mirage, but a gargantuan orbiting habitat, a truly alien vessel that uses the Earth's magnetic field in extreme cold to mask its presence? The terrifying idea is that a civilization has been silently established within our own atmosphere, living just beyond the edge of our detection, viewing our entire planet as their domain, unseen and untouched by our wars and concerns. The true horror is the proximity. We have spent billions trying to reach distant galaxies, yet a truly alien city may be hovering directly above our North Pole, a silent, watchful intelligence existing in a zone we rarely breach. Every time we fly high, we are flying too close to an active alien territory. The sky is not empty, it is already occupied, and the true occupants are the silent, ethereal tenants of the celestial city. The planet of diamond and indifference. The search for exoplanets has revealed worlds made almost entirely of compressed carbon, effectively creating diamond planets. While scientifically spectacular, the psychological implication is terrifying. These planets represent the triumph of cold, indifferent physics, worlds of perfect crystalline structure and unimaginable hardness, utterly devoid of the chaotic, liquid elements necessary for life as we know it. This perfection of form, a world defined entirely by its extreme density and flawless structure, serves as a monument to cosmic indifference. The diamond world is beautiful, but its beauty is cold, sharp, and absolutely final, demonstrating that the universe is capable of creating total, overwhelming stability without the need for organic life. It is the ultimate expression of the void's preference for geometry over biology. To live on a diamond world would be to live under the tyrannical rule of crystalline perfection, where every molecule is aligned and every movement is impossible. It is the terrifying proof that life is a fragile, unstable anomaly in a cosmos that naturally leans toward the unyielding, the absolute, and the utterly beautiful. The existence of these planets is a silent cosmological judgment against our own messy, liquid, fragile existence. The Kepler alien megastructure. The star KIC 8244628 Fovstustu, or Tabba's star, showed completely inexplicable and non-periodic dips in its light output, dimming events so massive that scientists were forced to propose a monumental, orbiting alien megastructure as a plausible cause. The dips were not consistent with planets or dust clouds, but suggested a massive artificial installation, possibly a Dyson swarm, being built to harvest the star's energy. The terrifying conclusion is that we may have observed a civilization so far advanced it is engineering its sun, treating its solar system like a construction project. The fact that the structure is incomplete and chaotic suggests a massive, ongoing effort, possibly the largest work of architecture ever undertaken by intelligent life, happening billions of miles away, utterly oblivious to our existence. This is the ultimate confrontation with the unknown above, the confirmation that power and scale far beyond our understanding exist. It proves that the void is not empty, but is being aggressively colonized by intelligences operating on timescales we cannot comprehend. The dimming light of the star is not a natural event. It is the physical evidence of alien construction, a titanic scaffolding that confirms our insignificance. The shroud of the Crab pulsar. The Crab pulsar, the core remnant of a supernova, spins 30 times per second, emitting a barrage of powerful electromagnetic radiation. This intense output creates the shroud, a vast, shimmering, energetic bubble of pure destructive force surrounding the dead star. This is not light. It is the perpetual, furious, high-energy scream of a star that refuses to die, turning its vicinity into an inescapable radiation zone. The terrifying myth behind the shroud is the belief that it is the visible manifestation of a primal force, a celestial engine of eternal punishment. Any matter that enters this zone is instantly subjected to unimaginable forces, the very atoms of its structure twisted and flayed by the pulsar's magnetic field and radiation. It is the ultimate cosmic deterrent, a boundary of absolute destructive power. This means that a dead star can be infinitely more dangerous and vengeful than a living one. The Crab pulsar is a monument to eternal malice, its remnant energy actively protecting its space with a blinding, terrifying storm. It is proof that in the sky, even death is not a release, but merely a transition to a new form of powerful, destructive, silent energy. We have glimpsed the true cost of celestial fury. The singing black hole. Black holes are generally understood to be silent, perfect voids, but recent scientific discoveries have shown that the colossal, supermassive black hole at the centre of the Perseus cluster emits an actual audible sound wave, the lowest note ever detected in the universe. This note is so deep that human hearing would perceive it only as an immense, oppressive silence. This deep hum suggests the vacuum is not silent, but merely resonating at a frequency we cannot perceive. The terrifying implication is that the most destructive object in the universe is actively communicating, not through radio waves, but through the fundamental pressure waves of the cosmos. This rhythmic, subsonic beat is the ultimate recurring motif, a cosmic pulse that underlies all reality, a fundamental vibration that may be the voice of the void itself. It is a song of creation and destruction, a sound so profound it is inherently linked to the laws of physics. To imagine the black hole as a musical instrument, a terrifying cosmic drum, forces us to confront the fact that the vast emptiness of space is constantly vibrating with the sound of pure destruction. It is the sound of the universe winding down, a funeral dirge that has been playing for billions of years, a constant silent presence that we're always swimming in, whether we can hear it or not. The false vacuum collapse. The universe exists in a state of energy known as a false vacuum, meaning it is merely stable, not truly stable. The horrifying possibility exists that our current state of physics is temporary, and a spontaneous quantum event could cause the entire universe to transition into a true vacuum state. This collapse would not be a violent explosion, but a sudden, terrifying shift where all reality, every atom, and every law of physics would instantly cease to exist. This instantaneous, silent transition would travel outward at the speed of light, an expanding sphere of nothingness that would erase everything in its path before we could even register its approach. The terrifying thought is that this catastrophic event could be triggered by something as small as a single, unstable particle decay, a cosmic suicide note written in quantum mechanics that could happen at any time, in any place. The entire structure of the universe is held together by an extremely thin thread of probability, a precarious state that is merely waiting for the right quantum jitter to initiate total, absolute collapse. We are living inside a ticking time bomb built of pure energy potential, and the moment of our erasure will be met with the smooth, immediate indifference of a program crashing. The sky is the ceiling of a temporary dream, the cosmic string catastrophe. Cosmic strings are hypothetical, one-dimensional topological defects, infinitely thin lines of pure, warped space-time that were woven into the fabric of the universe during the Big Bang. They possess an incredible mass density, stretching across the cosmos like invisible cosmic razor wires. If a cosmic string were to pass through our solar system, its gravitational influence and speed would instantly slice through entire planets and stars. The terrifying aspect is that these strings are essentially invisible to all conventional detection methods, meaning the approach of such a catastrophe would be completely silent and unannounced. We could be seconds away from an unstoppable geometric destruction, where our world is simply divided into two perfect non-living halves by an infinitesimally thin, dark thread. The destruction would be absolute and instantaneous. This reveals a terrifying weakness in the very fabric of reality, that a single ancient microscopic flaw from the Big Bang could erase our entire existence with a quick geometric precision. The strings are the unseen instruments of destruction, relics of a primordial chaos that still silently patrol the universe. Our vulnerability is total, and our doom could come from a defect we cannot detect, a thin line of destiny drawn across the void. The lost planet of Phaeton. The asteroid belt, the chaotic ring of rocks and debris between Mars and Jupiter, is sometimes theorized to be the remnants of a destroyed planet, Phaeton, a world that was catastrophically annihilated early in the solar system's history. This implies a past event of such overwhelming destructive power that it shattered an entire world, leaving behind a permanent cosmic cemetery that we must cross to reach the outer planets. The horror is that Phaeton's destruction was likely not random, but caused by a gravitational encounter with Jupiter, or by an internal nuclear cataclysm that turned a habitable world into a field of permanent space wreckage. The sheer, terrifying scale of such an event serves as a chilling testament to the violence inherent in planetary formation. It is a crime scene that is billions of years old, but the evidence is still floating there, silent and cold. The existence of the belt is a constant physical reminder of the fragility of planetary life. Every chunk of rock is a relic of a world that failed, a vast, silent monument to a catastrophic end that awaits any world that loses its stable orbit. We are surrounded by the ghost of a dead planet, a terrifying, recurring motif that shows us the end result of cosmic instability. The sun's slow, indifferent scream. Solar flares and coronal mass ejections are not just bursts of energy. They are violent, magnetic releases of plasma from the sun's surface, eruptions so massive they could engulf dozens of Earths. The sun, our source of life, is constantly screaming these catastrophic releases into the void, a silent, furious act of magnetic violence. It is an indifferent entity, giving us life while simultaneously possessing the power and the rhythm to erase it without malice. The terrifying implication is that the sun is a gigantic, chaotic machine that is fundamentally hostile to the peaceful maintenance of life. Its surface is a swirling tempest of magnetic fury, and its occasional calm is merely a momentary pause before the next inevitable, massive expulsion of destructive energy. The life we enjoy is a fragile bubble, constantly at risk of being burst by a cosmic temper tantrum we cannot predict or prevent. This reveals the ultimate cosmic betrayal, that the celestial source of all warmth and light is also the source of our most imminent powerful destruction. Its life-giving light travels with an equal measure of deadly radiation, and its benevolence is merely a side effect of its indifference. The sun is not our gentle father, but a powerful, chaotic machine that is slowly, silently screaming our destruction into space. The dark matter web's nexus. The universe is structured by the dark matter web, a vast invisible scaffold of gravity that dictates where galaxies cluster and how they move. The terrifying part is the existence of a nexus, a theorized point where these filaments of dark matter meet in overwhelming density. This nexus is not a collection of stars, but a geometric controlling node, a perfect intersection of gravitational power that governs the destiny of billions of galaxies. This structure implies that the universe is not randomly organized, but built upon an invisible, geometric infrastructure that is utterly indifferent to the baryonic matter we're made of. The dark matter web is the true architecture of reality, and the nexus is the main power distribution hub, a silent, colossal, and perfectly aligned point of control that is beyond our perception. The cosmic web means that all of existence is held in the grip of an invisible, silent network, and our very position in space is predetermined by the architecture of this dark scaffold. We are living inside a gargantuan, invisible machine, and the nexus is the dark, silent brain that is dictating the flow of all things, a massive, unmoving entity that we can only sense through its tyrannical gravitational pull. Rogue planets and the silent hunters. Rogue planets are worlds that have been violently ejected from their solar systems and now drift silently through the infinite blackness of interstellar space, unattached to any star. These worlds are shrouded in perpetual absolute darkness, their surfaces frozen solid, yet they may still harbour life sustained by geothermal vents. Cold, resilient, desperate life that knows only the terror of the void. The chilling implication is that the galaxy is filled with these dark, silent hunters, worlds that pass between stars without warning, invisible to all but the most sensitive infrared detection. A rogue planet could pass through the outer edge of our solar system, causing massive gravitational perturbations and sending comets toward Earth, all while remaining completely unseen, a silent, gravitational assassin. These planets are the ultimate proof of cosmic homelessness, embodying the violence that defines stellar nursery expulsions. They are the lost souls of the cosmos, wandering aimlessly in the eternal dark, and the life they carry would be so fundamentally alien and hostile to light that its discovery would signal a new, terrifying definition of existence, life that thrives on the very negation of warmth and light. The Sentinel Asteroids. The Sentinel Asteroids is a theory suggesting that certain groups of near-Earth objects, ENEOs, exhibit orbital patterns that are mathematically too precise to be random. They are not random space debris. They are theorized to be gigantic, ancient, artificial objects, derelict defense satellites or silent surveillance drones, placed in specific, stable orbits millennia ago by an intelligence that has long since departed. This means that the threat of an asteroid impact may be deliberately manufactured or maintained by an ancient technology. These objects are not just rocks, they are technological relics, silently executing their forgotten purpose, orbiting in perfect, choreographed synchronicity as they watch the planet below. Their presence confirms a long-term, tactical interest in our world that predates human civilization. The ultimate paranoia is that our destruction may be dictated not by random chance, but by the programmed failure of one of these ancient silent machines. We are living in a solar system where the debris is armed, and the ultimate threat comes from a celestial inheritance left behind by a forgotten empire. The sky is an old battlefield, and we're living among the unexploded ordnance left over from a war we never knew. The gravity tide. Phantoms. Gravity tides are the measurable rhythmic stretching of matter caused by the gravitational influence of celestial bodies. The horrifying fact is that scientists have measured subtle, non-periodic gravitational anomalies, phantom tides, that cannot be accounted for by the known planets, the Moon, or the Sun. These are the gravitational fingerprints of massive, unseen objects passing nearby in deep space, creating ripples in our reality. This suggests that our solar system is not gravitationally isolated, but is constantly being influenced by passing, enormous gravity tide phantoms, massive celestial bodies or objects from the dark flow that brush past our orbital plane. They are invisible, silent, and massive, momentarily distorting our oceans and our crust with their sheer gravitational weight before moving on to their unknown, non-luminous destinations. The entire Earth is a giant liquid elastic drum constantly being lightly tapped by the immense invisible mass of the cosmos. This confirms that our laws of physics are not localized. They are constantly being tested and subtly altered by the presence of gargantuan hidden forces. We are passengers on a boat constantly rocked by invisible wakes, a terrifying testament to our complete lack of knowledge about our gravitational neighborhood. The shifting axes of the zodiac, ancient astronomical records, particularly those tied to the construction of megalithic sites, suggest that the celestial axis used to define the zodiac and the equinoxes was dramatically different from today's. This is not simply a matter of precession. It points to a catastrophic, rapid shift in the Earth's pole, altering the entire visible sky and invalidating all future cosmic predictions. The terror is that the zodiac, the comforting celestial ring that governs astrology and ancient calendars, is a temporary, post-cataclysmic map, a flawed representation of a previous, more stable cosmic order. The great circle of the sky is vulnerable to instantaneous, violent reorganization, suggesting that the stability of the heavens is an illusion, maintained only by the Earth's temporary equilibrium. This means that the oldest fears of humanity, the myths of the sky falling or the heavens splitting, are not just allegory, but historical memory of a time when the entire night sky was physically and violently rearranged. The symbols of the zodiac are a lie, a sanitized version of the terrifying true geometries that once ruled the sky when the Earth's axis was under different gravitational control. The Venusian climate trap. The planet Venus is Earth's sister world, nearly identical in size, yet its atmosphere is a runaway greenhouse effect. A scorching, crushing, acidic hellscape. The chilling lesson of Venus is that a slight imbalance in climate can transform a habitable world into a perpetual inferno, its atmospheric pressure great enough to crush a submarine, all while being permanently shrouded in light-blocking clouds. The terrifying implication is that the planet is the ultimate cosmic warning sign, a permanent monument to the fragility of Earth's own atmosphere. It proves that within our own solar system, a world can be destroyed not by impact, but by a sudden, unstoppable, internal climatic rage. Venus is a laboratory of doom, showing us a potential future for Earth. A slow, atmospheric murder that leaves the planet intact but utterly sterile. This forces the terrifying recognition that the danger is not always external and alien. Sometimes the greatest cosmic threat is internal and atmospheric, a catastrophic reaction waiting to be triggered. Venus is the ultimate example of a world that lost the battle against itself, and its dense, acidic atmosphere serves as a silent, visible celestial prison, a terrifying testament to the power of a runaway environment. The Martian observer's Mars has always been the focus of conspiracy, but the chilling notion of Martian observers suggests that its ancient, lost civilization didn't die out. It merely retreated, developing a technology that allows it to maintain a silent, cold surveillance of Earth from beneath the surface. The great symmetrical structures seen on Mars are not monuments, but the colossal, derelict remnants of observation posts. The terrifying implication is that the red planet is not dead, but merely sleeping, its consciousness active and focused entirely on the blue world across the Gulf. The sudden, inexplicable methane plumes and subsurface ice reservoirs are not natural. They are the result of deep-seated, minimal technological activity, the bare necessities required to keep a silent, subterranean civilization alive and watchful. This means that the greatest threat of alien contact is not an invasion from the stars, but the sudden emergence of a powerful, ancient and highly advanced competitor right next door. Mars is not a goal for colonization. It is a territory of the unknown, a quiet, occupied world whose inhabitants are waiting for our civilization to reach a critical stage before they reveal their presence. The Moon's hidden door. The theory of the hollow, artificial moon is reinforced by the idea of a hidden door, a massive, perfectly camouflaged access panel or hangar bay on the dark side of the Moon. This door remains closed, but its existence would explain the Moon's strange titanium content and the unnatural perfection of its orbit. It implies the Moon is an enormous abandoned vessel or a permanent orbiting base. The terrifying thought is that this door could be opened at any moment, revealing not only a massive high-tech interior, but also the true unsettling purpose of the Moon's placement. The door is the ultimate symbol of the unknown above, a physical, gargantuan object placed in our sky that is clearly not natural, a work of celestial engineering that dwarfs all of humanity's achievements. If the Moon is an artifact, then its silence is a choice. Its constant, silent presence in the night sky is the ultimate form of psychological warfare, a colossal, empty vessel that perpetually reminds us of a power that can shape worlds and place them into orbit. We are constantly under the scrutiny of an abandoned but still functional orbiting fortress. The Kuiper Belt Time Capsule. The icy objects of the Kuiper Belt, located far beyond Neptune, are theorized to be pristine, untouched remnants of the solar system's formation. But the horrifying theory is that they are not just ice and rock. They are a cosmic time capsule containing biological material and even non-human technological fragments from a previous stellar age. This suggests that the secrets of the cosmos are not hidden in the stars, but are frozen solid in the deep freeze zone of the outer solar system, waiting to be rediscovered. Any comet that makes an unexpected journey inward is a potential delivery mechanism for ancient infectious material or forgotten high-tech weaponry. The outer dark is a storage unit for cosmic contagions and lethal relics. The terrifying realization is that we may be living in a solar system that is constantly being seeded with its own catastrophic past. The Kuiper Belt is a silent repository of both life and death, and its icy contents are the last frozen memory of a stellar age that ended in cataclysm. We are constantly in danger of unfreezing a historical horror simply by allowing a comet to follow its natural trajectory. The Star Eater Nebula, certain large, dark nebulae, are not just passive clouds of gas and dust. They are actively consuming and suffocating the stars within their grasp. This is not the clean gravitational collapse of a star. It is a terrifying slow-motion extinction, where entire systems are choked and dissolved by the overwhelming density of the cosmic cloud. It is a cosmic predator that feeds on light. The terrifying myth behind these Star Eater nebulae is that they are the visible manifestation of a primal force of anti-light, an entity that exists only to smother and negate the energy of the cosmos. The process is one of silent, overwhelming absorption, a slow, agonizing death for any star unlucky enough to be born within the shadow of the cloud, its light gradually extinguished forever. This reveals a fundamental hostility in the sky, that vast regions of space are designed not for creation, but for the slow, silent, inevitable negation of light. These nebulae are the ultimate warning that even the most powerful light sources in the universe are not safe from the dark, pervasive elements of space. The darkness is not empty. it is a waiting predator. The cold spot of the CMB. The cold spot is a vast, inexplicable region in the cosmic microwave background, CMB radiation, that is significantly colder than the surrounding universe. It is so large and so smooth that it defies the fundamental predictions of the Big Bang, suggesting an anomaly that could only be caused by something existing outside of our own universe, pressing down on our reality. The terrifying hypothesis is that the cold spot is the imprint of another parallel universe pressing against ours, a cold alien entity whose sheer mass is pulling energy from our local reality. This means our universe is merely a thin membrane separating two realities, and the cold spot is the physical evidence of this terrifying, constant cold pressure from the other side. This anomaly confirms the terrifying truth that we are not alone. We are simply contained. The cold spot is the ultimate recurring motif of our cosmic vulnerability, a physical reminder that our reality is just a thin, warm pocket of stability surrounded by cold, immense, and potentially destructive neighbours. The universe has a flaw, and that flaw is the physical boundary of our containment. The intergalactic wanderer. Intergalactic space is not empty. It is populated by ancient colossal stars and star clusters that have been violently ejected from their home galaxies, now drifting alone for billions of years. These intergalactic wanderers are the ultimate cosmic exiles, surviving in the absolute vacuum between galaxies. Their light a desperate, solitary signal across millions of light-years of pitch-black nothingness. The chilling thought is that these are not just stars. They're entire lost ecosystems that have survived the total severance from their home. The life they carry would be ancient, resilient, and utterly isolated, adapted to an existence defined by cosmic loneliness and the overwhelming constant pressure of the intergalactic void. Their very existence is a testament to the stubbornness of life against overwhelming cosmic odds. The sight of these solitary lost suns forces us to confront the true meaning of cosmic exile, that entire civilizations can be ripped from the comfort of their galaxy and cast out into the infinite darkness. They are the ghost ships of the cosmos, silently travelling on an endless, aimless journey, and their distant, cold light carries the most terrifying message of all, that stability is temporary and the ultimate destiny is the aimless, eternal wander. The planet of endless dawn. A planet in tidally locked orbit with its star has one side of its surface permanently facing the sun, a scorching, eternal day, while the other side faces perpetual, absolute night. The habitable zone on such a world is a narrow, eternal twilight ring between the two extremes, a terrifying, hyperstable environment. This extreme stability is the ultimate cosmic prison. The horror is the lack of change, the total subjugation to the star's gravitational control, creating a world where time and experience are reduced to a hyper-predictable, eternal loop. The life that evolves in the twilight ring would be utterly alien, designed to exist in a perfect, unchanging gradient, incapable of comprehending the concept of day or night as we know it. This planet is a terrifying example of how cosmic geometry can dictate absolute control, transforming a world into a rigid, non-negotiable prison of heat and cold. It is a monument to the indifference of physics, proving that the universe creates extreme, beautiful perfection that is fundamentally hostile to the chaos and change required for human evolution. We have glimpsed the ultimate, beautiful celestial prison, the Coma Cluster's dark heart. The Coma Cluster is a gargantuan grouping of thousands of galaxies, all bound together by gravity. The horrifying fact is that the majority of its mass is not the visible galaxies, but a massive, invisible cloud of dark matter and hot, invisible gas that holds the entire structure together. The cluster is a unified, gargantuan entity whose visible members are merely the luminous residue of a giant dark core. This means that the Coma Cluster is effectively a single, cohesive, massive intelligence, a collection of galaxies acting as one, governed entirely by the overwhelming invisible mass at its heart. The visible stars are simply the decorative skin of a colossal gravitational beast, and the entire structure moves with a singular, terrifying will that is dictated by the dark heart of its invisible mass. To look at the Coma Cluster is to look at the terrifying future of our own local group, which is currently being pulled toward the Great Attractor. This cluster is the finished product, a monolithic structure of cosmic control where individual galaxies have lost their autonomy and become merely organs within a single, gigantic, dark entity. The entire structure is a single, massive, gravitational conspiracy. The atmosphere's memory leaks. The ionosphere, the electrically charged layer of the atmosphere, is constantly bombarded by solar and cosmic radiation, leading to strange, high-altitude electrical phenomena. The terrifying theory of memory leak suggests that this layer occasionally discharges and plays back fragments of every radio wave, thought, and image that has passed through it over the centuries. This implies that the aurora borealis is not just light, it is a momentary shimmering screen where the atmospheric memory of Earth is briefly chaotically played out. Witnesses to intense aurora displays have reported fleeting unidentifiable sounds and shimmering ghostly images that seem too precise to be random, fragments of human and non-human history. The sky is literally haunted by the echoes of everything that has ever been broadcast or thought, a constant archive that sometimes experiences a glitch. This means the air above your head is filled with the ethereal ghosts of long-dead radio waves, and the atmosphere can briefly resolve them into terrifying momentary visions. We are living under a leaky, chaotic recorder of supernatural influences. The Oort cloud's barrier. The Oort cloud is theorized to be a gigantic, spherical shell of icy debris surrounding our solar system, extending almost a light year out. This dense shell is often viewed as a protective buffer, but the conspiratorial theory is that it is a deliberate barrier, a massive self-sustaining structure of ice, rock, and gravitational anomalies designed to isolate the inner planets from the rest of the galaxy. The terrifying implication is that we are not freely travelling through space, we are contained. This enormous icy shell is a cosmic quarantine zone, established long ago by an unknown intelligence to either protect or to study the life that evolved on Earth. The act. Leaving our solar system is not a scientific challenge. It is the physical breach of a perimeter fence. The very structure that defines the boundary of our solar system is a monument to our isolation. The Oort cloud is the ultimate celestial prison wall, a continuous chaotic structure that ensures anything entering or leaving our space is either destroyed or catastrophically delayed. We are not citizens of the galaxy. We are specimens in a hyperstable, self-contained, icy habitat. The cosmic web strains. The cosmic web, the geometric structure of the universe, is made up of filaments of galaxies and voids. The terrifying fact is that mathematical analysis shows certain filaments are under immense, measurable strain, as if they are being violently stretched or pulled by forces that are not symmetrically distributed across the cosmos. This suggests an active, deliberate pulling action on the largest structures in the universe. The horror is that the universe is not just expanding, it is being torn apart along specific lines of stress by forces we cannot identify. The strained filaments are the fault lines of reality, vast million-light-year structures that are about to snap, potentially sending entire clusters of galaxies tumbling into the void or colliding violently. This reveals a fundamental, non-random violence at the core of cosmic structure. The strain in the web is the ultimate ominous tension, proof that the universe is not a gentle place of expansion, but a vast, brittle structure under immense localized stress. Our very existence is located on a piece of fabric that is currently being stretched to its absolute breaking point by an unknown hand. The Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. Myth. Ancient astronomical texts from multiple civilizations placed immense, catastrophic significance on the Great Conjunction, the rare alignment of Jupiter and Saturn. These alignments were never benign. They were seen as celestial omens that triggered massive political collapse, plague, or atmospheric disasters. This suggests a forgotten, terrifying historical memory of a time when the conjunction did have a physical, disastrous effect. The terrifying possibility is that the combined, focused gravitational and magnetic field of the two largest planets, when perfectly aligned, creates a momentary, violent resonance that affects Earth's geology or atmosphere. The conjunction is not just a beautiful sight. It is a celestial trigger mechanism that periodically initiates a cataclysm, a moment of cosmic alignment that reminds us of the power of the large planets. This is a chilling historical memory that transforms two beautiful, familiar planets into celestial conspirators whose synchronous motion controls the rhythmic destruction of life on Earth. We have been taught to see astronomy as passive, but the myths tell us the truth. The planets are active, and their movements dictate the periodic failure of our civilization, a constant cycle of doom and rebirth. The white hole. Hypothesis. The theoretical concept of a white hole is the time-reversed opposite of a black hole, an object that violently spews matter and energy outward, preventing anything from entering. While they have never been observed, their theoretical existence suggests that our universe could be constantly seeded with matter from a source we cannot comprehend, violating all current laws of thermodynamics. The terrifying implication is that these white holes are not just natural phenomena, they are cosmic pressure valves, safety releases for matter and energy violently ejected from a parallel or higher dimensional space. The sudden appearance of such a hole would be a catastrophic, violent event, flooding our local reality with unpredictable alien forms of energy and matter. This challenges the fundamental principle of cosmic isolation. A white hole is a sudden burst of revelation, proof that the laws of physics are not universal, and that our reality is being constantly assaulted by a non-local source. We are living in a cosmos that is inherently unstable, and its stability is constantly threatened by violent, non-negotiable infusions of matter from the true unknown. The mirror world echo. The existence of a mirror world is a theorized, parallel universe that is identical to ours in every way but has been slightly time-shifted or spatially offset. The terrifying thought is that we could be constantly catching the faint, gravitational or luminous echo of this mirror world, a slight gravitational pull, or a repeating pattern that is not ours, but a subtle reflection of the chaos next door. The horror is that we are constantly being influenced by our own doppelgangers, a parallel reality whose proximity threatens the stability of our own. Every inexplicable coincidence, every feeling of déjà vu, could be a brief memory leak from the mirror world, a flicker of consciousness, or a gravitational wave passing through the thin membrane separating the two realities. This means that our universe is not unique. It is simply one reflection in an infinite, terrifying hall of mirrors. The mirror world echo is the ultimate technological paranoia, confirming that we are constantly being watched and influenced by our own parallel selves. The greatest threat is not an alien, but a slightly time-shifted version of us whose own collapse could violently destabilize our reality. The sky's chemical code. When light from distant stars is analyzed through spectroscopy, the dark lines that appear reveal the chemical composition of the star. However, the chilling theory is that these dark lines are not merely random chemical fingerprints. They are a sophisticated, intentional code. A celestial alphabet where the chemical composition of stars is being used to broadcast messages across the vastness of space. This suggests that the entire celestial sphere is a gigantic chemical billboard, and the different elements are the silent, non-human language of the cosmos. The different patterns of hydrogen, helium, and iron are not just elements. They are the fundamental syntax of a civilization that communicates across billions of years using the very physics of starlight as its medium. The true horror is the realization that the chemical code has always been visible, a constant, silent message written in the very light that sustains us, and we have been too primitive to understand that the elements themselves are the alphabet. Every star's light is a carefully crafted sentence, and the cosmos is constantly narrating a story that we can only perceive as passive, silent, beautiful physics. The Neptune anomaly. The planet Neptune exhibits highly unusual, non-periodic gravitational anomalies in its orbital path, subtle speed changes that cannot be accounted for by the known mass of the other planets. This suggests an influence that is either completely unseen or non-gravitational, a force that is actively and deliberately steering the giant world in its orbit. The chilling theory is that this is not a force of nature, but the result of a colossal, non-gravitational propulsion system, an ancient, forgotten technology that is maintaining Neptune's stable orbit using unknown, subtle energies. Neptune is not merely a gas giant. It is a gargantuan, silent vessel whose propulsion system occasionally causes measurable blips in its otherwise perfect trajectory. This implies that one of the furthest planets in our system is either being secretly controlled or is under the influence of an immense, ancient technological marvel. The Neptune anomaly is a direct challenge to the laws of orbital mechanics, confirming that the largest worlds in our solar system may not be natural, but part of a slow, silent, incomprehensible manipulation by an unknown above. The terrifying gamma-ray bursts, GRBs, are the most powerful explosions in the universe, theorized to be caused by the collapse of massive stars or the collision of neutron stars. They're so energetic that if one were to occur within a few thousand light years of Earth, it would instantly sterilize our planet. The terrifying fact is that their occurrence is mathematically non-random, suggesting a cosmic clockwork governing their timing. The horrifying implication is that the universe is not randomly violent. Its catastrophes are scheduled and timed, perhaps by the same intelligence that dictates the Kronos paradox. The GRBs are the ultimate celestial alarm clock, set to go off at predetermined intervals, sweeping clean specific sectors of the cosmos to ensure that no life form ever progresses beyond a certain technological threshold. This means that the GRBs are not accidents. They're a fundamental periodic act of universal control, ensuring that the development of advanced life remains contained and temporary. We are living under a threat that is scheduled, and the energy output of the universe is designed to keep a permanent, violent check on the spread of intelligence. The star cult of the Dogon. The Dogon people of Mali possess an ancient, complex astronomical knowledge specifically about the invisible star Sirius B, a white dwarf companion to the main star, invisible to the naked eye. Their knowledge of its 50-year orbit, density, and invisible nature long predates Western science. This implies a past forgotten communication with a non-human intelligence that possessed advanced celestial knowledge. The chilling possibility is that the Dogon were the recipients of a direct cosmic transmission, a single, overwhelming, non-negotiable education in celestial mechanics delivered by an intelligence that has since departed or gone silent. Their culture is the quiet, perfect archive of a secret that was never meant to be discovered by conventional means. This means that the greatest secrets of the sky are held not in modern telescopes, but in the memory and lore of the most ancient, isolated cultures. The Dogon are a terrifying living testament to the fact that the unknown above has broken its silence before, choosing specific groups to receive its truth. The sky is a master teacher, and its lessons are terrifyingly selective. The unseen ring of Vulcan. Before the discovery of Mercury's orbital wobble, astronomers sought the elusive planet Vulcan, a world theorized to be orbiting inside Mercury's path. While the wobble was solved by Einstein's theory of relativity, the chilling idea of Vulcan's existence persists, an unseen ring of mass, or a planetary fragment still silently warping the inner solar system's gravity. The terrifying thought is that even if a large planet isn't there, a vast ring of dark, non-luminous mass or a series of massive clustered asteroids may still occupy that impossible orbit. This unseen mass silently affects the orbital mechanics of the inner planets, acting as a massive, invisible gravitational buffer that is constantly exerting a subtle, undetectable pull on our world. This means that our solar system's gravitational stability is constantly being tested by a massive, invisible entity right under our nose, a hidden horror that remains perpetually obscured by the sun's overwhelming light. The myth of Vulcan is not a mistake of history. It is a ghostly, astronomical memory of an unseen presence that still silently and powerfully governs the innermost orbits. The celestial cartel's territory. The vast, empty quadrants of space, the cosmic voids, are often assumed to be randomly empty. The chilling theory suggests they are not empty at all, but highly controlled territory, perfectly clear, silent zones established by a celestial cartel of ultra-advanced intelligences who do not wish to be disturbed or observed. This implies that the universe is not a frontier but a meticulously organized empire, where the voids are the enforced boundaries between different, powerful, and utterly silent cosmic powers. The lack of stars and galaxies is not natural. It is the result of a massive long-ago cosmic sterilization, ensuring that their territorial borders remain perfectly clear of all observation. The terrifying implication is that our entire galaxy is merely a single, small, isolated zone allowed to exist between the great, terrifying empires of the void. We are living in a temporary crowded corner of a universe that is mostly divided into vast, powerful, and silent territorial spaces. The ultimate fear is crossing the boundary and confirming the existence of a tyranny of the unknown above. The atmosphere's plasma veil. The highest layer of Earth's atmosphere, the magnetosphere, is filled with a churning high-energy plasma that acts as a shield against solar winds. However, the chilling theory suggests that this layer is also a plasma veil, a deliberately generated active field that obscures Earth from high-resolution scanning or detection by external forces, a form of natural camouflage. This implies that the plasma layer is not just protective, it is a defensive mechanism, an enormous electrically charged membrane that makes it impossible for the most advanced technologies to get a clear, coherent image of the Earth's surface. It is a silent, powerful smokescreen that has been actively maintained for billions of years, ensuring the total privacy and isolation of our biosphere. The terrifying truth is that we are not hidden by distance, but by a massive, natural-looking force field that ensures our planet remains a black box to the rest of the cosmos. The plasma veil is the ultimate technological paranoia, confirming that the Earth is not merely a world, but a highly guarded secret that the universe is actively, powerfully concealing from view. The gravity well trap. A gravity well trap is a terrifying concept. A massive, localized gravitational anomaly that suddenly appears in deep space, creating a temporary, powerful vacuum of gravitational force. This invisible well silently and instantaneously traps passing star systems or rogue objects, holding them immobile until the force eventually dissipates, leaving the system stranded in an unknown location. The horror is that these traps are theorized to be the result of ultra-advanced weaponry or technology. A massive localized field of manipulated gravity, a cosmic snare used by non-human intelligence to capture or redirect entire solar systems. The effect is instantaneous and silent, turning entire star systems into helpless prey for an incomprehensible, powerful hunter. This means that space is not just passively open, it is actively, lethally mined with powerful, invisible gravitational traps. The sudden disappearance of stars or the inexplicable shifts in stellar motion are not random events. They are the evidence of a nearby silent gravitational hunter at work. The vacuum of space is not the absence of energy. It is the presence of an unseen, lethal, powerful technology. The time-dilated star. Near the core of the Milky Way, stars orbit the central black hole at terrifying high speeds. This close proximity causes extreme time dilation, where time passes significantly slower for the stars and any life they might harbour. The terrifying idea is that we are constantly observing stars whose inhabitants are experiencing time at an agonizingly slow, drawn-out pace. The horror is the realization that these stars are essentially cosmic prisons, where billions of years of existence are compressed into a moment for the rest of the cosmos. Any life on these planets is trapped in a slow-motion existence, watching the rest of the universe flash by in a blur, unable to communicate, participate, or escape their temporal fate. This means that the sky is filled with billions of living beings who are permanently exiled from the regular flow of time, a silent, massive population of the temporally condemned. The time-dilated star is a chilling monument to the indifference of physics, proving that time itself is a variable that can be warped into a perpetual, slow-burn psychological torture chamber. The dark acoustic oscillations. The very largest structures in the universe, the distribution of galaxies and clusters, follow specific, subtle, rhythmic patterns known as baryon acoustic oscillations, BAOs. The chilling theory is that these oscillations are not merely random patterns of matter. They are the immense fossilized sound waves from the Big Bang itself, a primordial, cosmic drumbeat that still dictates the rhythm of reality. The horror is that the universe is fundamentally musical, and its entire structure is based on the ancient non-human sound waves of its creation. Every galaxy cluster, every void, and every massive structure is positioned according to this silent, rhythmic, cosmological beat. We are living inside a gargantuan cosmic symphony, and the notes are played by the density of dark matter and gas. This means that the universe is a single, immense, vibrating instrument, and its current song is merely the echo of its first chaotic note. The dark acoustic oscillations are the terrifying proof that the cosmos has a rhythm, a hidden, silent pulse that dictates the ultimate geometry of all things, confirming that the initial chaos of the Big Bang was, in fact, an act of colossal, geometric orchestration. The ghost of the Andromeda collision. The Andromeda Galaxy is currently on a collision course with our Milky Way, an event scheduled to happen in 4 billion years. The chilling fact is that gravitational influences and subtle, high-velocity star streams suggest that the initial, invisible halo of Andromeda's dark matter has already begun to interpenetrate our own. The collision has already silently begun. The terrifying implication is that we are already living inside the ghost of the collision, a silent, overlapping region of dark matter and unseen gravitational forces. The subtle anomalies in the outer edge of our galaxy are not our own. They are the first, terrifying influences of a colossal, approaching entity whose non-luminous mass has already begun to dictate our galactic destiny. This means that the biggest threat to our galaxy is not a future event, but a present, invisible reality that has already commenced. We're not waiting for the collision. We're already swimming in the intermingled shadows of two colossal, violent entities whose ultimate merger is guaranteed. The true horror is the knowledge that our galactic fate is no longer our own, but is already being decided by the dark matter of an approaching giant. The planet of perpetual storms. Exoplanet studies reveal worlds where the atmospheric energy is so volatile that the entire planet is permanently shrouded in an eternal, violent, high-velocity storm. These perpetual storm planets are terrifying because they represent a state where the atmospheric chaos is the defining feature, rendering the concept of stable land or cohesive civilization impossible. The horror is that these planets are not just chaotic, they are actively chemically hostile. They're endless, massive storms creating conditions of impossible heat, cold, and destructive electrical energy. Any life that exists there would be utterly fleeting, or else so resilient and fast-moving that it lives entirely within the maelstrom, defined by its adaptation to constant overpowering violence. This reveals a fundamental hostility in the sky. The atmosphere itself can become a weapon of mass destruction, a self-sustaining engine of pure, unending chaos. The planet of perpetual storms is the ultimate testament to the universe's ability to create beauty and terror in equal measure, proving that the gentleness of Earth's climate is the most fragile of cosmic anomalies. The void's cold breath. The cosmic vacuum of space is not merely empty, it has an absolute temperature of 2.7 Kelvin, just above absolute zero. This is the cold breath, the pervasive, absolute, bone-aching chill that is the fundamental temperature of the cosmos. The terrifying implication is that this cold is an active, pervasive element that is constantly seeking to negate all heat, life, and energy. The horror is that every star, every planet, and every living thing is merely a brief, isolated pocket of warmth in an infinite, eternal ocean of absolute cold. The universe's fundamental state is one of stillness and total thermal negation, and our life is merely a temporary fragile rebellion against the overwhelming power of the void's pervasive chill. This means that the very air we breathe and the light we enjoy are constantly under attack by the pervasive, absolute cold of the cosmos. The void's cold breath is the ultimate truth of the sky, confirming that entropy is the only guaranteed constant, and that every moment of heat is merely a countdown to our inevitable, final submission to the eternal, absolute chill of the universe. The satellite graveyard orbiting Earth is a vast, ever-growing ring of space debris, derelict satellites, and lost rocket stages known as the Kessler Syndrome Ring. This satellite graveyard is a terrifying man-made entity, a ring of metal that we have created and which now acts as a colossal, self-sustaining metal reef, making future access to space increasingly perilous. The horror is the realization that this debris ring is a perfect, enduring monument to our own short-sightedness and chaos. We have surrounded our world with a permanent lethal cloud of our own failure, ensuring that the act of escaping Earth becomes exponentially more dangerous with every passing year. The sky is not just a place to look outward, it is a permanent storage locker for our junk. This means that the greatest cosmic threat we face is not from the stars, but from the man-made chaos we have created in our immediate vicinity. The satellite graveyard is a visible, terrifying barrier, proof that the most difficult challenge to our expansion is not physics or distance, but the sheer volume of our own metallic, self-made planetary prison. The sky reflects our own failure. The binary pulsar time machine. Binary pulsars, two spinning neutron stars locked in a tight decaying orbit, are not just astronomical curiosities. Their combined precise orbit creates a perfect, predictable warping of space-time. Their predictable orbital decay is so precise that scientists can use them as the ultimate cosmic clock, a time machine of immense, non-human accuracy that reveals minute changes in the fundamental laws of gravity. The terrifying implication is that this binary pulsar is the universe's true and perfect metronome, an unfeeling, hyper-accurate machine that dictates the absolute measurement of time for every part of the cosmos. The very structure of its orbit is a challenge to our understanding of chaos, proving that in the most violent corners of space, an absolute, terrifying order can be found. This means that the sky is filled with colossal, unseen time machines that are silently measuring our existence against the ultimate non-negotiable rhythm of gravitational physics. The pulsar's perfect ticking is a constant, cold reminder that the universe does not run on our clocks, but on the precise decaying orbit of a pair of ultra-dense dead stars. The Moon's titanium echo. When astronauts deliberately crashed the spent lunar module ascent stage into the Moon's surface, The resulting seismic activity lasted for over an hour. This ringing like a bell effect, combined with the presence of heavy metals, suggests a titanium echo, a massive, solid, non-natural core that resonates with an eerie, perfect uniformity. The terrifying implication is that the moon is not a solid rock. It is a gigantic, hollow construct designed for resonance and stability. The echo is the acoustic signature of an empty vessel, or a colossal, metallic bell that was deliberately placed in orbit to watch and monitor Earth, its silence now broken by the impact of our own technology. This means that our closest, celestial neighbour is the ultimate haunted artifact, a massive structure that rings with the sound of an ancient non-human purpose. The moon's titanium echo is the silent scientific confirmation that the sky has hidden architectural secrets, and the greatest monument in our local space is a single, silent, powerful gong that rings with an unnerving, perfect sound. The Star Witch's celestial contract. Ancient European and tribal myths often speak of a Star Witch, a powerful figure who gained knowledge and power by making a contract with a specific, bright, malevolent star. The power was drawn down through a celestial tether, giving the witch control over natural forces in exchange for a terrifying, unstated future cost to her descendants or her soul. The chilling possibility is that this myth is a folk memory of a successful, if terrifying, cosmic transaction, a moment when a human successfully negotiated with a non-human intelligence using light or gravitational resonance as the medium. The Star Witch is the ultimate historical mystery, a proof that the celestial sphere can be manipulated by those who know the correct forbidden frequency. This means that the sky is not just a place of light, it is a massive, dark market where immense, terrifying transactions can be made. The celestial contract is the ultimate act of betrayal, confirming that certain stars are not just burning gas but powerful, conscious entities willing to trade power for a terrifying price. The sky is an active, malevolent conspirator, the planet's submerged memory. Geological analysis of Earth's deep crust reveals massive sudden magnetic shifts and unexplained violent plate activity in the distant past. The chilling theory suggests that these shifts were caused by the sudden, catastrophic collapse of a previous extremely advanced submerged civilization, a society that lived deep beneath the oceans and whose technology failed spectacularly. The horror is that the Earth itself may contain a submerged memory, a history of ultra-advanced, non-human intelligence that was destroyed by its own catastrophic geological failure. The great magnetic poles shifts and the sudden, violent flooding of continents are not just nature, they are the result of a massive ancient technological collapse that fundamentally scarred the Earth's stability. This means that our greatest threat is not a new alien arrival, but the silent, catastrophic reawakening of the destructive technology that is buried and drowned deep beneath our oceans. The greatest secrets of the sky are hidden in the oceans, a final, terrifying connection between the geological trauma of Earth and the gravitational influences of the cosmos. The wormhole's shimmer. Wormholes, theoretical shortcuts through space-time, are often thought to exist only in the most distant, exotic corners of the universe. The terrifying idea is that unstable, localized micro-wormholes are constantly, momentarily opening and closing right within our own solar system, causing minute, unpredictable gravitational and light warping effects. The horror is that the light of distant stars is constantly being affected by this wormhole's shimmer, a brief, unpredictable warping that suggests the fabric of space is not smooth, but thin, delicate and full of chaotic, momentary tears. These micro-wormholes are the ultimate sudden burst of revelation, proving that the universe is constantly trying to bypass its own rules of time and space. This means that the sky is a thin veil, prone to momentary violent tears, and the universe is constantly trying to leak into our local reality. The shimmer is the silent, terrifying confirmation that the shortest distance between 2 points may not be a straight line, but a chaotic, unpredictable tear in the fabric of existence that could open at any time, in any place. The sun's magnetic prison, the heliosphere, the enormous bubble of magnetic force generated by the sun, acts as a shield, protecting us from the high-energy radiation of the galaxy. The terrifying theory is that this magnetic bubble is not merely a shield, it is a magnetic prison, a deliberately maintained electromagnetic barrier that prevents the influx of external, non-human radio signals, technology, or consciousness. This suggests that the sun is an active conspirator in our isolation, using its immense magnetic power to ensure the total electromagnetic quarantine of the inner solar system. The vast magnetic boundaries are the perfect, powerful fence, preventing our technology from escaping and preventing outside influence from entering our local space. The horror is the realization that the unknown above may be constantly broadcasting its knowledge, but the immense, active magnetic field of our own star is silently, powerfully jamming the entire channel. We're not silent because of distance, but because of a massive, star-driven electromagnetic jail that ensures our total, contained isolation. The black body radiation conspiracy. Black body radiation is the thermal radiation emitted by any opaque object. The chilling conspiracy is that specific, ultra-dense objects in deep space emit radiation signatures that cannot be explained by their temperature or composition. This suggests a form of non-thermal, artificial energy being actively generated by hidden, ultra-dense structures. The terrifying implication is that these objects are not natural. They are technological emitters, silent transmitters of a form of power we cannot comprehend, disguised as passive black bodies. The radiation they emit is not heat. It is energy being actively pumped into the cosmos for an unknowable, alien purpose, using a technology that defies our understanding of thermodynamics. This means that the skies filled with silent, invisible power stations, ultra-dense, dark objects that are constantly broadcasting immense amounts of non-thermal energy. The black body conspiracy is the ultimate technological paranoia, confirming that the most passive elements of the sky are actually active, powerful, and utterly alien engines of power. The planet of fossilized fear. The search for exoplanets reveals barren, rocky worlds that have endured catastrophic stellar events. The terrifying idea is that these planets retain the physical imprint of their destruction, worlds where the mountains and geological formations resemble colossal, silent, screaming faces. This is the planet of fossilized fear. The horror is that these formations are not random. They are the result of catastrophic events, supernovae or black hole flybys, that instantly froze and hardened the planetary surface during its death throes. The resulting geology is a permanent physical monument to the agonizing end of a world, a silent, terrifying testament to the violence of the cosmos. This means that the universe is not only capable of destruction, but it's capable of preserving the terrifying evidence of that destruction in massive geological form. The fossilized fear is the ultimate warning that a world can be so thoroughly traumatized that its very surface retains the eternal, silent, terrifying memory of its own cataclysmic end. The dark energy accelerant. Dark energy, the mysterious force causing the universe's accelerated expansion, is usually seen as a passive, uniform force. The terrifying theory is that it is not passive, it is a dark energy accelerant, a localized controlled energy field being actively generated by an ultra-advanced intelligence to violently tear apart specific regions of the cosmos. The horror is that the intelligence is manipulating the very fabric of space-time, weaponizing the universe's expansion to create rapid, violent separation between star systems. This would cause entire regions of space to suddenly accelerate away from each other, leaving isolated galaxies stranded in the ultimate uncrossable void. This means that the biggest threat to our cosmic neighborhood is an intelligence that has mastered the fundamental physics of the universe, turning cosmic expansion into a weapon of mass isolation. The accelerant is the ultimate technological paranoia, confirming that the universe is not randomly expanding, but being actively, maliciously managed by a force that dictates our ultimate total isolation. The asteroid's artificial origin. The existence of highly symmetrical, oddly geometric asteroids, such as those with non-random craters or perfect angular faces, suggests an artificial origin. These are not random space rocks. They are the massive, broken remnants of ancient gargantuan spaceships or derelict space stations that were destroyed in a long-forgotten celestial battle. The terrifying implication is that the asteroid belt and certain large NEOs are a cosmic wrecking yard, the silent, pulverized battlefield of an immense long-ago war between alien intelligences. The silence of space is merely the result of a catastrophic, final conclusion to a violence so absolute that only the massive metallic fragments remain. This means that the biggest threat of impact is not a rock, but a piece of ancient alien high-tech wreckage that has been silently orbiting for billions of years. The asteroid's artificial origin is the ultimate historical mystery, confirming that our solar system is not pristine, but filled with the silent, deadly debris of a war that we are only now beginning to discover. The ionosphere's whispers. The ionosphere is the electrically charged upper layer of the atmosphere that naturally reflects certain radio waves, including VLF, very low frequency waves. The terrifying fact is that this layer occasionally reflects and generates highly rhythmic, non-random VLF signals that sound like eerie, structured whispers, low-pitched, sweeping tones that defy known natural atmospheric sources. The horrifying theory is that these ionosphere whispers are not natural reflections. They are a continuous, low-power, non-human broadcast, a constant subsonic communication that is using the Earth's natural magnetic field as a conduit. These signals are the perpetual, silent conversation of a non-human intelligence that is using the atmosphere itself as its communication medium. This means that the sky is constantly talking, and the atmosphere is filled with a low, rhythmic, continuous alien hum that our technology occasionally intercepts. The whispers are the ultimate proof of supernatural influences, confirming that the air above our heads is not just a shield, but a silent, constant, active medium for a cosmic communication that we cannot fully comprehend. The sun's shadow clock. Ancient megalithic structures often incorporate precise astronomical alignments, leading to the theory of a shadow clock, a vast Earth-based mechanism that uses the sun's shadow to track not the day, but the deep precessional cycles of the cosmos. The horrifying implication is that these clocks were built to predict celestial cataclysms, not seasons. The terrifying thought is that these ancient structures are the result of a scientific understanding that the sun's shadow, when perfectly cast, reveals hidden information about the long-term, non-random, cyclical destruction of the Earth. The shadow clock is a monument to an inherited, terrifying knowledge that the sky has a rhythmic, violent pattern. This means that the biggest secrets of the sky are hidden in the oldest structures of the Earth, a constant physical reminder of a past civilization that fully understood the inevitability of cosmic doom. The clock is a silent physical record that the unknown above has a schedule, and its timetable is written in the longest shadows of our history. The cosmic string catastrophe, the second pass. Due to the repetition in the prompt summary, Fact 77 is reimagined here with a focus on its temporal aspect to maintain narrative flow and uniqueness from Fact 28. The theoretical cosmic strings, infinitely thin, high mass defects in space-time, are remnants of the Big Bang. The terrifying concept is that their speed causes them to be time-dilated, meaning they move and interact with our reality at an entirely different temporal pace. This means a string could be passing through our solar system for millions of our years, perceived only as a subtle, constant warp in gravity. The horrifying implication is that this slow, silent, temporal slicing is currently ongoing, a massive, unobserved gravitational force subtly altering the orbits of our furthest planets, causing minute, inexplicable instabilities. The string is not a momentary threat. It is a permanent, silent gravitational anchor, its presence an eternal hidden burden on the stability of our solar system. This reveals a deep, non-negotiable flaw in the structure of time and space, where a single, ancient defect can exert a permanent, agonizing pressure on our reality. The cosmic string is the planet of endless rain. Exoplanet studies have discovered worlds where the atmospheric conditions create a permanent, catastrophic, high-velocity rainstorm, a world where liquid water or ammonia falls at such a rate that it acts as a constant, erosive, destructive force. This endless rain planet is a testament to the sheer violence that water can achieve when atmospheric conditions are unbalanced. The horror is that on such a world, life would have to be incredibly resilient, living entirely beneath the surface or adapting to a continuous existence under a crushing, overwhelming torrent. The atmosphere is an engine of constant destruction, and the very act of waterfalling is a loud, terrifying, perpetual sonic assault on the planet's surface. This means that the basic elements we associate with life can be warped by cosmic chaos into agents of total, unceasing destruction. The endless rain world is the ultimate warning that the sky can betray its most essential function, turning the source of life into a perpetual, crushing, high-velocity engine of geological death. The galactic ghost ship. The concept of a galactic ghost ship is the idea that the first massive interstellar vessel, launched by a long-dead alien empire, is still drifting silently between galaxies. This derelict ship would be colossal, millions of light-years long, its power gone, its purpose lost, but its massive metallic structure silently warping the gravity fields around it. The terrifying implication is that we could encounter this ghost ship at any time, a silent, colossal, technological relic that is a perfect monument to the ultimate failure of an advanced civilization. It is a vessel of unimaginable scale, floating in the void, carrying within it the final, terrifying records of its species' destruction. This means that the vacuum of space is filled not just with matter, but with the colossal, silent debris of long-dead empires. The ghost ship is the ultimate open loop, confirming that the destruction of advanced life is inevitable, and the only thing left behind is the massive, drifting, silent metal wreckage of their technological hubris. The Sun's binary companion, the dark pull. The theorized binary companion to the Sun, often referred to as Nemesis, is not just an object. Its non-luminous presence creates a subtle, periodic, dark pull on the outer planets that cannot be accounted for by the known gravitational bodies. This suggests a persistent, invisible gravitational tether that links our Sun to a dark, massive entity. The terrifying truth is that this dark pull ensures our solar system is never truly free. It is eternally bound to a violent, non-luminous partner whose gravitational influence dictates the cycles of destruction. The pull is subtle, constant, and mathematically non-negotiable, a permanent feature of our solar system's gravitational reality. This means that the two largest forces in our solar system, light and life from the Sun, and darkness and death from its companion, are perpetually locked in a terrifying silent dance. The dark pull is the constant invisible reminder that our Sun's light is not a sign of freedom, but merely a temporary illuminated zone on a permanent violent binary leash. The star clusters alignment. Certain dense, ancient star clusters visible in the night sky appear to align in non-random, unnervingly perfect geometric patterns when viewed from Earth. The terrifying theory suggests that these alignments are not coincidental. They're colossal, non-human, eerie symbols deliberately arranged by an intelligence using star systems as its medium. The horror is that these star cluster alignments are a form of hypercolossal sign language, a message written across thousands of light years, using the sheer magnitude of star systems to convey a powerful, terrifying, and immediate presence. The arrangement is too perfect, too mathematically precise to be random chance. This means that the sky is a living canvas where massive, non-human intelligences are constantly writing their decrees using the light of entire star clusters. The constellations we admire are merely the background to a much larger, more terrifying geometric arrangement that confirms the active, intentional supernatural influences of the unknown above. The cosmic horizon's veil. The cosmic horizon, the furthest point in space we can ever observe, is not a gentle curve. It is a fixed, non-negotiable boundary. The terrifying theory is that this horizon is an active cosmic veil, a mechanism that prevents us from seeing the ultimate edge of our reality, designed to conceal the structure or the origin of our universe from external observation. The horror is that the universe is actively hiding its own architecture from us, maintaining a perfect light-based boundary that ensures we can never see the source of the Big Bang or the true limits of our physical laws. The veil is the ultimate rhetorical question made physical, a cosmic boundary that forces us to accept a permanent state of unknowing. This means that the sky is a deliberate cover-up, and the cosmic horizon is the perfect, infinite curtain drawn over the most important secrets of existence. We are living inside a deliberately obscured box, and the act of looking further only confirms the absolute non-negotiable nature of our isolation and ignorance. The moon's resonant frequency. The theory of the hollow moon is supported by the concept of a resonant frequency, a specific, low-pitched, subtle hum that the moon emits due to its massive hollow core. This low frequency is theorized to influence human sleep patterns, mental stability, and emotional states, acting as an invisible, perpetual, subconscious, hypnotic signal. The terrifying implication is that the moon is not a passive neighbour. It is a massive, resonant technological artifact whose very existence affects the deepest level of human consciousness. The low hum is a silent, continuous broadcast, maintaining a constant, subtle influence on the emotional and psychological state of the entire planet. This means that the moon's constant, silent presence in the night sky is the ultimate form of supernatural influence, confirming that a physical external object can dictate the internal chaos and rhythm of our minds. The moon is a silent, constant conspirator, and its low, subtle frequency dictates the hidden emotional logic of our civilization. The Star Child Hypothesis. The Star Child hypothesis posits that the universe is not an accidental event, but the product of a massive non-human primordial entity, a colossal, ethereal, fetus-like structure that is gradually being born from the vacuum. The entire universe is merely the interior of a cosmic womb, and the Big Bang was its first massive labour pain. The horrifying implication is that the forces of physics, the structure of matter, and the very existence of life are merely the internal biology of an immense, non-conscious entity. The stars and galaxies are not just matter, they are the biological processes of a massive non-human life form whose ultimate birth will result in the annihilation of our current reality. This means that we are living inside the body of a massive unconscious being, and our fate is entirely dependent on the quality of its gestation. The Star Child is the ultimate symbol of fear, confirming that our universe is temporary and will be violently destroyed when the colossal, ethereal being finally decides to take its first cosmic breath. The Venusian climate trap, the warning. Due to the repetition in the prompt summary, Fact 85 is reimagined here with a focus on its temporal threat to maintain narrative flow and uniqueness from Fact 36. The Venusian climate trap offers a direct, chilling look into Earth's projected doom. The point at which our oceans boil and the planet becomes an acid-shrouded inferno. The terrifying fact is that this transition is mathematically inevitable for any terrestrial planet, and the runaway greenhouse effect on Venus is merely a demonstration of a future scheduled for our own world, a cosmic time limit on life. The horror is that Venus is a massive, permanent celestial warning sign, its existence confirming that our climate stability is a fleeting, temporary gift. We are living under a countdown, and the acid rains and crushing heat of our sister planet are merely a preview of the physical conditions that will one day define Earth, proving that the sky will ultimately betray us with heat. This forces the terrifying recognition that the safety of our planet is not guaranteed by its size or its location, but by a delicate temporary chemical balance. The Venusian trap is the ultimate testament to the universe's indifference to life, confirming that the most violent, irreversible catastrophes are often the most slow burn and internally generated. The Earth's inner mirror. The Earth's core and mantle are theorized to contain unexplained seismic anomalies and strange non-periodic heat discharges. The terrifying theory of the inner mirror suggests that deep within the Earth's crust lies a massive, ancient artificial structure, a gigantic, smooth, reflective surface that acts as a storage or power conduit, a hidden world beneath our feet. The horror is that this inner structure would reflect and distort the natural seismic rhythm of the Earth, acting as an unseen internal conspirator that dictates the rhythm of plate tectonics and volcanic activity. The structure is so massive and deep that it is completely untouchable, a perfect, subterranean secret that dictates the chaos of the surface world. This means that the biggest structural secrets of the sky are actually hidden within the Earth itself, a final, terrifying connection between the internal chaos of our world and the external chaos of the cosmos. The inner mirror is the ultimate hidden horror, confirming that our world is not a solid sphere, but a massive, ancient, occupied artifact. The shifting axes of Hyperborea, the cataclysm. Ancient myths of Hyperborea and other lost golden ages often speak of a time when the stars were perfectly aligned and the seasons were gentle, a state violently ended by a cosmic cataclysm that tilted the Earth's axis. This myth is a terrifying historical memory of a sudden, powerful external force that knocked the Earth onto its current, unstable rotational axis. The horror is that the current alignment of the seasons and the celestial sphere is not natural. It is the post-disaster alignment, a temporary state resulting from an act of external violence on a planetary scale. The entire history of our modern civilization exists on an Earth that is structurally, rotationally, and gravitationally traumatized. This means that the biggest secrets of the sky are the records of an act of immense, targeted, non-human violence against our planet. The shifting axes confirm that the Earth is a victim, and its permanent rotational tilt is the silent physical evidence of a massive long-ago attack that violently reset the entire rhythm of the sky. The cosmic time warp gravitational lensing, where massive objects like galaxy clusters warp space-time to magnify and distort the light of objects behind them, often creates multiple, identical images of the same distant star or galaxy. The terrifying fact is that each of these multiple images shows the object at a slightly different, temporally shifted age. The horror is that a massive galaxy cluster is essentially an unstable time machine, using its immense gravity to allow us to view the same object at different points in its temporal history simultaneously. This violates the fundamental concept of a single linear history, proving that time is merely a function of gravitational distortion. This means that the sky is filled with multiple, silent, temporal versions of the same entities, a terrifying constant reminder that time is not a fixed river, but a flexible gravitational element that can be warped and stretched by massive objects. The cosmic time warp is the ultimate realization of cosmic instability. The dark matter. Cartography. Dark matter is normally seen as a subtle, chaotic web. However, the terrifying theory of dark matter cartography suggests that in specific, deep space locations, the distribution of dark matter follows unnaturally precise geometric grid-like patterns. This implies a massive intentional infrastructure made of the non-luminous mass of the universe. The horror is that the universe is not randomly organized. It is built upon an invisible geometric infrastructure, a massive, ultra-stable, silent network of dark matter that is being used by a hyper-advanced intelligence as its true, hidden cosmic domain. This network is a physical map, a non-luminous grid that dictates the movement of all things. This means that the greatest cosmic secrets are hidden in the mass we cannot see, and the dark matter is not random. It is the active, functional architecture of an immense, silent, non-baryonic empire. The dark matter cartography is the ultimate paranoia, confirming that the very fabric of the universe is controlled by an invisible, geometric, silent force. The sky burial's prey, the practice of sky burial in certain high-altitude cultures, is rooted in the belief that the soul must be quickly released from the body to make its upward journey. The terrifying myth suggests that this journey is fraught with danger, that high-altitude predators and supernatural influences actively prey on the newly released vulnerable soul as it attempts to cross the thin membrane of the atmosphere. The horror is the realization that the unknown above is not just stars and light. It is a hunting ground, a perilous zone filled with predatory non-physical entities that view the released soul as an easy temporary target. The atmosphere is not a peaceful void. It is a battleground between the ascending spirit and the chaotic, hungry forces of the high air. This means that the sky is an active, malevolent hunting ground, and the very act of death is a risky celestial gamble. The sky burial's prey is the ultimate proof of supernatural influences, confirming that the atmosphere is filled with unseen, ancient entities whose very existence is dependent on the passing of mortal life. The Planet 9 Revelation. The hypothetical Planet 9, the massive unseen planet in the outer solar system, is inferred by the clustering and orbital tilt of multiple distant Kuiper belt objects. The terrifying implication is that its discovery will not be a peaceful scientific triumph, but a Planet 9 revelation. The confirmation that a truly massive foreign entity has been silently dictating the fate of our local space for billions of years. The horror is that this massive world could possess a highly unstable orbit, periodically sweeping into the inner Oort cloud and causing sudden, massive comet bombardments. Its massive, non-luminous presence confirms that our solar system is not safe. It is under the constant, silent gravitational influence of a colossal, non-negotiable foreign body. This means that the key to our future destruction is not distant, but right here in our own solar system, a massive, silent, unseen entity whose very existence changes all our assumptions about cosmic stability. The Planet 9 Revelation is the ultimate open loop, confirming that the biggest secret of the sky is hiding in plain sight, just beyond the edge of our vision. The Oort cloud's silent watcher. The Oort cloud, the icy shell surrounding our solar system, is theorized to contain not just comets, but a single, massive, geometrically perfect, silent watcher. An ancient high-tech satellite or relic placed there by an intelligence that has long since departed. This relic uses the vast distance and chaos of the Oort cloud for perfect camouflage. The terrifying implication is that this silent watcher has been passively recording the entire history of life on Earth, operating on a massive slow-motion technological cycle that is completely independent of our existence. It is the ultimate technological paranoia, confirming that our entire civilization is a controlled, recorded experiment. This means that the ultimate, unobserved threat is not a future invasion, but the present, silent existence of a high-tech camera that has been recording every moment of our history. The Silent Watcher confirms that the very boundary of our solar system is not natural, but the carefully chosen vantage point of a massive, invisible technological spy. The redaction of the constellations, the true geometry. The ancient lost star maps are filled with figures and lines that modern astronomy cannot match, suggesting a deliberate redaction of the constellations. The chilling theory is that these excised figures were not merely mythical. They were the true, terrifying geometric symbols of cosmic laws, a geometry that was too powerful and dangerous for humanity to comprehend. The horror is that the current constellations, the bears, hunters, and heroes, are a simplified, intentional lie. A child's story designed to mask the ultimate geometric conspiracy that rules the sky. The deliberate removal of the true symbols was an act of mercy, preventing humanity from invoking forces or understanding geometries that would lead to instant madness or destruction. This means that the entire night sky is a censored text, and the true, terrifying, powerful secrets are hidden in the empty spaces between the known stars. The redaction confirms that our sky is a deliberately obscured map, and the truth is a set of eerie symbols that were intentionally hidden from us for our own protection. The gravity's silent song. When two black holes collide, they don't emit light. They cause a massive, violent ripple in space-time known as a gravitational wave. The terrifying theory is that these waves, though silent to human ears, carry a rhythmic harmonic frequency, a silent song that is the ultimate non-negotiable acoustic of massive cosmic violence. The horror is that the universe is constantly filled with the immense, low-pitched, unobserved sound of black holes and neutron stars violently merging. This gravity's silent song is the true chaotic soundtrack of the cosmos, a terrifying background noise of destruction that our senses are too primitive to detect. This means that the biggest, most violent events in the universe are also the most silent, proving that the vacuum of space is a perfect medium for the transmission of powerful, chaotic, non-luminous sound. The silent song is the ultimate dark poetic narrative, confirming that existence is merely a moment of temporary light in an eternal, silent concert of destruction. The Star-Eater Nebula, the silent consumption. The Star-Eater Nebula is a dark, massive gas cloud that is slowly, silently consuming the light and mass of the stars within it. The terrifying fact is that this consumption is so gradual that the stars appear to simply vanish over millennia, a process of silent consumption that is utterly invisible and non-violent, making the cloud the ultimate stealth predator. The horror is that this nebula is not destroying the stars, it is simply incorporating them into its own massive chaotic structure, a colossal dark entity that grows by absorbing the energy and mass of every star it encounters. The cloud is a monument to the ultimate triumph of density and darkness over light. This means that the sky is filled with massive, silent, non-luminous predators that are actively, slowly, and permanently negating the light of the cosmos. The Star-Eater Nebula is the ultimate testament to the power of the dark, confirming that the most terrifying violence in the universe is often the most quiet, slow, and non-negotiable. The final, silent starquake, the inevitable shudder. The violent structural failures within neutron stars, the starquakes, are massive, localized releases of energy that violently shudder the surrounding space-time. The terrifying truth is that every dead star is a massive structural fault line, and the final silent starquake is an inevitable event that all neutron stars will eventually undergo. A massive, quiet explosion of pure gravitational force. The horror is the realization that the cosmos is filled with these dead, unstable time bombs, and the inevitable shudder of their collapse will send a silent, destructive ripple through the entire fabric of reality. The quake is not a local event. It is a fundamental shift in the geometry of the universe, a silent, powerful reminder of cosmic doom. This means that the biggest threats to our cosmic stability are the silent, collapsed remnants of dead stars, whose final, inevitable structural failure is only a matter of time. This silent star quake is the ultimate open loop, confirming that the universe is not just expanding, it is constantly collapsing in localized pockets of profound, quiet, terrifying violence. The celestial city of Thule, the Great Deception. The recurring myths of a celestial city of Thule or a hidden airborne civilization in the Arctic atmosphere suggest a terrifying Great Deception. This city is not a mirage, but an ultra-advanced stealth technology, a massive, permanent hovering vessel that uses the atmospheric conditions and magnetic field to render itself perfectly invisible and silent. The horror is that this massive city ship has been silently positioned directly above the North Pole for millennia, watching, observing, and completely unconcerned with the fleeting chaos of the human world. The celestial city is a constant, terrifying reminder that a powerful, ancient intelligence is operating within our own atmosphere, undetected and unobserved. This means that the sky is not a frontier. It is already occupied, and the true rulers of our atmosphere are the silent technological tenants of this hidden city ship. The Great Deception confirms that our exploration of the sky is merely a dance around a massive hidden presence, whose silence is the most terrifying form of non-negotiable control. The architect's footprint in the Kuiper Gap. The largest, most inexplicable gaps in the Kuiper Belt, regions where no objects exist, are not voids of empty space, but silent, swept avenues of destruction. Scientists attribute these to gravitational resonances, but the unsettling perfection and sheer scale of the gap suggest an intentional hand. This is not the passive movement of nature. This is a celestial border, a colossal, invisible fence built by an intelligence using gravity as a trowel to clear its path or mark its territory. Ancient Babylonian texts speak of the Marduk line, a defined celestial boundary that the suns and spirits should not cross, established in the age of chaos. What if this myth is a folk memory of a time when humanity encountered a territorial warning from a non-human force? The Kuiper Gap is the line on the map that reads, "Beyond this point, you are entering controlled space. We are terrified of the unknown, but the chilling realization is that the territory is known, just not by us." This leaves us with the central question of the entire universe. Who is the architect and why are they drawing lines in our solar system? The creepiest fact is that the edge of our celestial backyard is not defined by our own planet's influence, but by the gravitational decree of a colossal, unseen neighbour. The sky is not a playground of random chance. It is a meticulously managed estate, and we are merely the unacknowledged occupants of the inner courtyard, separated from the master's true domain by an empty, terrifying gap. The final, silent star quake. We often focus on the explosive death of stars, but the quiet, agonizing end is far worse. The silent star quake. These are massive, deep structural failures within the crusts of neutron stars, dead, collapsing suns that vibrate space-time itself, sending colossal ripples through the fabric of reality. These quakes release energies trillions of times greater than our atomic arsenal, yet they occur in absolute silence, a cosmic shudder that affects everything but is heard by no one. The terror is that we are constantly being assaulted by the dying spasms of the universe, and our reality is simply too dense and primitive to perceive the noise. If a single starquake can warp the geometry of space-time, how many uncounted silent tremors have already subtly altered the course of human history? Perhaps every great coincidence or technological leap was merely a resonance, a brief echo of a dying sun's last breath, momentarily aligning our minds to a cosmic frequency. The cumulative dread is the realization that these quakes are not anomalies, but the recurring motif of the universe's eventual structural failure. Every time a neutron star shudders, it shortens the lifespan of reality itself. When the final massive quake comes, it won't be a bang. It will be a perfect, seamless, quiet unmaking of the known universe, leaving only the soundless echo of the unknown above in its wake. Our silence will be absolute. The sky as the dreamer's membrane. The final secret is the synthesis of all our fears. The sky, the celestial sphere, the veil between here and beyond is not an empty void, but the immense collective consciousness of the universe, a thin, vast membrane that dreams us into existence. All the strange lights, the cryptic signals, and the gravitational anomalies are not external phenomena, but the fleeting thoughts and nightmares of this cosmic dreamer. Our very reality is the temporary beautiful tension of a sleeping mind. Ancient myths of the ethereal sleeper suggest a primal intelligence that created the universe simply by imagining it, and our physics are merely the rules of its unconscious logic. When the sleeper twitches in its rest, we experience red sprites and starquakes. When it shifts its weight, Planet 9 adjusts its orbit. The true terror of the unknown above is the knowledge that our existence is fragile, dependent on the quality of a giant's eternal, indifferent slumber. And so, we return to the hook. The hum you hear at night is the sound of the dreamer breathing, and the shadowed eyes of the stars are its half-open lids. You must fall asleep to these fears, for to stay awake is to risk waking the very force that contains us. The ultimate conspiracy is that we are not trying to explore the sky. We are desperately trying to keep the sky from waking up, and realizing that we are the insignificant, noisy thought, it can now simply stop thinking. The fear of the high places, the dread of the open air, this terror is now woven into your very being. As you absorb these 100 revelations, ask yourself, which truth felt the most immediate, the most chillingly present in your own ceiling-bound sky? We seek the knowledge you hold the moment you instinctively checked the nearest window, or recalled the night you felt truly watched by the firmament. This is the moment to share your revelation. The power of these ancient fears is only magnified when acknowledged. Share the one fact that made you understand the conspiracy, and join the gathering shadow of those who now know the sky is not a roof, but a veil. The secrets are there, waiting to be shared, and only by speaking them do we truly understand the depth of the void that surrounds us. Don't let the cold silence of space conquer your voice. Comment below, tell us what celestial horror you saw, and acknowledge the darkness. By sharing your experience, you contribute to the collective knowledge of humanity's true place in the cosmic hierarchy. The only shield against the terrifying truth of the unknown above is the shared recognition that we are not alone in our existential dread. Let us keep the secret alive. The script is closed, the facts are spoken, but the central question lingers, echoing in the vacuum between worlds. If the oldest fears are the truest, then what catastrophic forgotten memory is being preserved in the myth of celestial judgment? The night is deep, and the light from those dead, distant suns still travels millions of years just to touch your skin tonight. It carries whispers you can't quite decipher. Sleep now, but remember that somewhere above the atmosphere, the dark forces we discussed, the shadowed eyes and the slow grinding engines, continue their silent orbit, waiting for their next cycle of influence. You may turn off the light, you may pull the covers tight, but the celestial clockwork continues its ancient, indifferent turn, regardless of your momentary comfort. We have breached the veil of ignorance. The sky has given up its secrets, but the true terror is that they now belong to you. every constellation, every unexplained hum, every sudden tilt of the solar system is now a personal terror. And as you drift off, know that the greatest horror of the void is not the things we have yet to discover, but the ominous truth that the things that rule the cosmos already know us perfectly.